Hi guys, this is Andrei, and today we're gonna talk about entrepreneurship.
Had no need to fight tonight.
Now, this is one of the subjects that I really love. It's one of those daily subjects that I always get into discussing with somebody. I see a lot of interest in general from young people going in this direction of opening their own business or having their own project. And I think it's really valuable to know from people that did it before a couple of shortcuts or ways in which you can speed up the process. I'm lucky enough to have been through it and be guided through it by a number of people, as well as kind of figure my ways around it. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the things that I learned along the way, my journey, and things that helped me boost my results as a young entrepreneur. I will start by introducing you to my story. Probably at this stage not many of you know. My actual start as an entrepreneur was when I really started to follow my passion, which was music. So when I was about 14 years old, I formed my first band back home in Bucharest. I'm from Romania. And I started playing. I started to learn how to organize concerts, probably learning about how to manage people as well in a team, because a band is a team, but it's a bit crazier, mainly at the age of 14, 15. So that was really important. As well as do marketing, where we had shows. I started to learn about social media, which back then was in the beginning, like Facebook just launched, and really do all this kind of businessy stuff, but in a more playful manner. So I did that for many years, 4 years, which was really my high school, college period. And that was the period when I started to learn about business as well. Because by doing music and marketing it, I understood and I kind of found my passion for marketing and communications and PR and so on, as well as for digital marketing and seeing how the customer behavior changes online, enabling me to understand better how to communicate with them in order to make my messages heard, really. And the key moment in my life was finishing college. I was faced with two choices. I was remaining home in Bucharest, playing with my band and going to a university studying marketing that was not so good at the time, just because back in Bucharest there were not really modern universities studying this subject. Or I was accepted at a number of universities in the UK. The bad point here was that I had to leave all my band and all my projects and start over again. Guess what I did? I just left home and got to the UK. So coming here was a really new experience for me. I never really went anywhere more than a couple of weeks. So being a whole new country, whole new city with not really any friend around was interesting. One of the things that I did was I started to get to learn about the new places as much as possible. So one of the things that really helped me get into entrepreneurship and then making it work was in my first year, I started to look for the people that were sharing kind of the same interests as me. And how I did that, obviously they were not on a corridor saying, "Hi, this is me, Andrei, I'm just here to make friends and we share the same interests." These people that I really wanted to get to know better and to be surrounded with didn't do only that, but went to extracurricular activities as well as and got involved in things that were not mandatory, and they did that because they were passionate. So I started to hear about business competitions, leadership courses, etc. So things that I knew about, but I never really did. I must say, going to these kind of competitions and activities was probably one of the most life-changing things for me in my journey as an entrepreneur and student, because from here onwards I started to develop my network as well as started to understand the importance of developing relevant skills as well as going out of your comfort zone repeatedly. So that was one of the reasons why I had about 9 or 10 jobs for university, part-time or full-time, in different areas of marketing, learning how to do and how it actually works and how to do everything that has to do with it, just to be able to kind of manage it when the time will come, and to be able to know the vocabulary, etc., the processes and so on, which I suggest you do as well in your niche. So before trying to develop a business, try to be a practitioner in that business, just to understand where the issues are, and to kind of understand where the problems are and how you could potentially solve them. One way that I was doing this was, for example, having a placement year in my third year, which was basically, as part of the course, I had the opportunity of working with a company in the industry that I was studying in, which was marketing. So I went and did my placement year in a very big corporation, doing digital marketing for a very big bank. At the end of the placement, I was sure I will never ever work in a corporation again, just because I didn't like the way that I felt constrained to stick to certain limitations and have very specific tasks that would not allow creativity and so on and so forth. So anyway, those were only my reasons, but that helped me as well identify issues in working like that, as well as help me understand better where the industry was going, what things are being developed, what's important for brands, for big brands, so I can apply that in my business. Going back to my university journey, because it's quite related to the entrepreneurship one, in my second year I tried to make a big step out of my comfort zone, and as well as discover new places, because I love traveling. So I went to Copenhagen doing an Erasmus semester there. It was really fun. I worked there as well in marketing and events. Then I came back. And when I came back, I was so willing to just start my own thing as well as my band again. And moved to London to do so, because I was in Birmingham at the time. I secured my placement year, which was fine. I formed a band as well in London, which went really good. And halfway through this placement year, which I told you was pretty tricky for me, and it's a key moment in my life because I work in a place that I didn't really fit in, I was so decided to start my business that I just went for it. I was about 20 years old back then, and I was like, okay, so what could I do that people know I'm good at, I know I'm good at, and I would love doing for the rest of my life? So I think that these are three of the questions that all of us should ask at one point or the other, possibly enriched with a fourth one, which would bring me the most money and would bring the most value to the people, because these two are interrelated. So you should actually look for bringing more value to the people that you are delivering the business to, because all the time the money will come back to you. So having these 3, 4, 5 things in mind, I was kind of like thinking, and then I was like, okay, cool, so I think I'm gonna do marketing for music and events, because kind of like at that point I thought that was kind of like the angle that I should approach it from. So I started to develop my ideas, I started to talk to people and see how I can bring that to life. And funnily enough, at the end of the placement year, the plan was to go back to Birmingham, finish university, just, do what a normal student does, and then possibly come back to London, find a job until I find, enough money to start a business, etc. But it was a great opportunity actually, and I'm very grateful for it. I was approached by another company in the same field that the corporation was, to start working for them. But they had a startup approach in the UK. They were new. It was a branch of an international company doing digital marketing, but very innovative for some very, very big brands internationally. So that was really fun. Now, from a couple of perspectives. One of them was I had no plan of staying in London. So imagine just deciding in May that from June I will just change everything that I planned. Kind of like finding a place in London, which can be pretty tricky. Figuring out how I'm going to study full-time in my third year, as well as work part-time, as well as developing my band, as well as developing my business. So it was a bit of a madness moment there, but I'm so happy I took it, because that was probably the key changing moment in this year journey, let's say, when I actually followed my heart. And I think that that's what each of us that wants to, follow through their desires and just do their own thing and be happy with their own product or achievement or project, etc. I think that there are certain moments when we don't really know how we would do it, but we feel that's the right thing to do. And I think that above everything, we should be listening to what we feel inside and how confident we are in ourselves that we can manage. I was pretty confident, and one tip for developing such self-confidence, I think, would be stepping out of your comfort zone repeatedly. Because when you do that, most times you don't know how you're going to handle it, or you don't know what you're going to face, but by the end of it you will end up alive and well. So going that many times in different circumstances will help you be confident in yourself that whatever the situation is, even if you are not sure how you're gonna get to an end, you will find a solution for it. And I think it's really important to develop that and build on it consistently. So yeah, I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna take this job, I'm gonna stay in London over summer, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So I was lucky enough also to have very good teachers, and they understood me. Also, they trusted me, so thank you for that. If any of you is listening, guys. And also, I had the opportunity of rearranging all my plans, and it was really good because just a couple of months later I actually started to brand the company. So I found a name for the company, which now is Marketiu. So we do digital marketing. We still run as an agency in London, and we do pretty well. Probably we're going to expand in other countries this year, so it's very fun times. But that was the first step in this journey that actually was bringing it to life. So yeah, the summer went well. I started setting up the business. I was kind of like figuring everything out again. Luckily enough, just a couple of months later, I found a really cool guy with which I formed a band that today is called Naked Canvases. You can find us on every platform. Actually, we just shot a music video a couple of days back, so stay and keep an eye on us because it's going to be a really, really cool one. And probably since university started, so last year university, starting the business, the band, etc. That was a very tricky, again, period of time in my life, because that was probably the time where I was most pushed, or I was pushing myself most to the limits in terms of achieving as much as possible in the shortest amount of time possible. So basically increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of my work. And I think that, again, this is a thing that you'll probably discover talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, that we understand the value of time and the value of investing time, not spending time. So it's a very fine difference here, because when you invest time in something that will give you a return. When you spend time, it's basically like you spend money, but not on something that necessarily gives you. So for example, you can spend time just having a walk outside without any purpose, so not for mental wellness or whatever, but just like, spending some time doing nothing or watching series that don't necessarily bring anything to your life. Whereas investing time in planning something, in doing some research work, whatever it is that generates a result. That was one of the times where I felt I was understanding this fully. And well, I mean, a lot of things happened because last year and final year is not necessarily easy, mainly as I was preparing to start for my CIM Chartered Institute of Marketing diploma. And also I really wanted to get some awards, let's say. So eventually I ended up being the Entrepreneur Student of the Year, which was really fun. And probably the biggest achievement was being the Outstanding Student of the Year in the university. But I must say, on that day, I was like at the end of my strengths almost. So actually, let me show you a picture of that, because I have a picture with me from that day. It's hilarious. One sec. Right, so basically this is me, but look at the eyes. I was not okay. So yeah, that was probably after about 3 months of just sleeping on average 4 to 6 hours per night. It was really tough, and one of the things I think that helped me a lot was, apart from the determination of actually starting my thing and making the most out of the university and whatever it had to offer me, so additional courses, additional things that could benefit me and teach me new skills as well. So my determination was certainly one of the things, and you'll find that as well if you work towards something that you are really passionate about or passionate of, as well as a good balance of alimentation. So the nutritional things that you get through food and stuff can play an essential role in your wellness and in your energy. And if you guys want to hear more about this from me, just leave in a comment down below, and I'm going to be happy to make a video about it, because it's one of the things that I really like talking about, and also one of my passions in the past 8-9 years. I used to be a bit fatter when I was a kid, so that's how I started to look into it, and then I just discovered through my life the benefits of knowing what you eat, how to eat it, etc. And that's really essential as well for you as an entrepreneur, because you're going to be pushed to the limits many times. Okay, so yeah, basically that's kind of like my story and the advice that I kind of can give you briefly through it. I'll probably do a couple more videos, but focusing more on specific areas of the advice that I was kind of like trying to offer now. If you guys are interested in something, let me know, and I'm going to be more than happy to share with you my experience or how I'm dealing with different things. But in a nutshell, I think that if you want to start your business and you are in university, make the most out of it, because it's a network and it's a lot of kind of free things that you can get from it. You are paying for it, but essentially you'll pay for it anyway. So if you pay for it, you'd better do the most out of it, and you'd better take the most value out of it, incorporating it into your person. Develop a network, because it's really important. This is one of the things I've been focusing in the past 2 years, just trying to meet as many people as I can in my niche or complementary niches that I can bring value to, and with which I can bounce ideas, collaborate, talk, discuss, and essentially just hang around with them, because you'll find that when you fall into a circle of business owners, their approach to life is, and to things in general, is so much different, because they understand, again, the value of time, the value of the person next to them, the idea that they should deliver value if they are having an interaction with somebody, and yeah, so many other things, like that money come after and not before doing stuff. So they understand the idea of investing energy in something to get results later. It's a lot of things that you can develop from that. Get a mentor or 2 or 3, how many you can and how many you think can be helpful for you, because that's gonna shorten your journey. Also, just practice and understand the system that you want to fall into, because it's essential before you start to know how to do it, at least kind of. So to understand the vocabulary, the requirements, the issues that the industry is facing in your niche, as well as understand how the whole system works. And that's not a theoretical thing. For example, in a marketing agency scenario, okay, you might know that there are different departments and studios and people collaborate and stuff, but until you get to the point of managing clients, real clients, and exchanging briefs and matching expectations, delivering or over-delivering services, and see how that impacts on your referrals, etc. It's so many things that you actually have to go through and understand how everything works in your business idea and in running a business like the one you want to develop, and only then start applying it to actually learn it better. So you'll make a lot of mistakes, don't worry about that, but it's really essential that you apply it as soon as you learn about it, towards building this whole infrastructure of a business, let's say, or product or whatever. Okay, so for today, I think that this was more than enough to get you started. If you are in London or in the UK, 2 of the institutions that I found really valuable, for me at least, when I was looking to develop my network, were Institute of Directors, and I'm going to leave you guys a link down below, as well as the London Entrepreneurs Network, which is in London, but obviously you can find such networks in every other city, so wherever you are, I'm sure there must be something like that. And also look into your entrepreneurship department in your university if you are a student, because you're going to find a lot of things that will help you, resources, people, as well as possibly funding. So keep an eye out, dedicate your energy to it, be focused, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice one and rock it.